Hello everyone, welcome to Nobody's Tribe. And yes, once again, I am sitting in my car because it's a comfortable place to talk. Today I'm going to talk about drug addiction and alcoholism and what those can teach us about creating our reality or creating our experience of our life, manifesting our life circumstances, how that all ties in together. The general perspective on alcoholism and drug addiction is it's a terrible thing, and that is a valid perspective because it is a type of cancer, psychological cancer, that infiltrates one's reality and awareness and becomes an entity of sorts, a self-perpetuating entity that kind of takes over their life. And of course, many know, I know this from firsthand experience, so I'm with you there. But how does one get out of that negative experience any type of positive anything besides after you maybe get sober or stop doing the addiction? And this could be towards anything like shopping or sex or porn or gambling, whatever it may be, memes, meme addiction. No, I'm just kidding. But the core thing I want to talk about with alcoholism and drug addiction is the way in which you are controlling your experience in your life is through only an external manipulation. So when you can see that alcoholism and addiction is a very poignant example of a false way to create your reality, it's like shifting the furniture of your life in order to change how you feel. Addiction and alcoholism is a very extreme version of that. Whereas like for some people, they change their boyfriend or girlfriend, they change their job, they change where they live, and they're trying to change things externally so that they can feel okay inside. Addiction and alcoholism is an extreme form of that. And it's a form of that could get you to wake up to the fact that way of creating reality doesn't work. And in fact, it actually perpetuates the same type of experience repeating. So when we try and do that by changing the external and using a substance or alcohol or changing external circumstances to change how we feel, it stops working. It gets to a point where it does not work, and then there's still that feeling of wanting more, or the feeling of emptiness or a lack of connection. Getting out of that, one must wake up to the idea that you cannot create the feeling you want within you by changing circumstances. It will happen for a brief period. You drink some alcohol, have a drug, go gamble, watch porn, whatever it is, and you feel good for the time being. But it always goes back to the yang of that, which is the negativity, the suffering, the anguish, the life has no purpose, or whatever it may be. And those polarities flip back and forth. And I feel like one of the only ways to get through that is at first you must open a space to realize that there is a self in you that is demanding control to the extent that it's manipulating its outer reality to change something that is internal. And when you can realize that all experience is drawn forth to you by your internal creativity or your internal intention or awareness, the way you focus, you can give up the need to try and desperately manipulate the outer to change the inner. And that could be whether you have a job that you hate, or you, whatever it is, you have relationships that are bothering you. If every time the thing comes up that bothers you, you think a negative thought such as, I don't like this, why is this here, and I don't have what I want, that very perspective keeps that in place energetically, because you're creating from the internal. You're not manipulating outer circumstances to create an inner feeling. It doesn't work that way, because you're changing the reflection out here, yet it's gonna always continue to reflect what's in here, but you just don't know that. So you're changing it, and then it moves back, and you change it and it moves back, and you realize you are shifting. You're trying to move around and mold a reality that is molding off of you. So you're creating it, and it's creating you, and you're creating it, and it's creating you, and it's this endless cycle, and it's no fun. There has to be an opening of a space within you to recognize that there is a character in you that believes it knows what it's doing and is in control, and it's actually perpetuating the issue by, like I said, focusing on the lack of something, or focusing on what you do not want. Those thoughts are going to be automatic, of course, but when they happen, are you feeding those thoughts with your attention and believing them, as in, like, yeah, I don't want this is so bad, I can't believe this? Or are you opening a space or a surrender that allows you to choose a perspective on the situation that doesn't generate this perpetual suffering within you? And it doesn't mean you accept the situation and you're going to just stay with it, but there has to be a recognition that I can't change the situation right now. If you can't change the situation right now, so there it is. Making peace with what is the only sane option, because you're completely in charge of your energy state within here. And if you're going from a deeply depressed negative state, the only essence you're going to be able to add to the mixture is a state of non-resistance, because adding any type of positivity will be impossible if you're in a very negative state. So adding non-resistance, okay, this is what is, and in doing so, you open a space that allows more of the infinite consciousness that you are to come into you and seed more ideas that are of that space or that peace. And those ideas will come and sprout whenever they need to, and come forth whenever they need to, and may lead or magnetize to you different circumstances. But by hating the thing and constantly causing suffering when you think about it, even though you know you can't do anything about it at this moment, will only bring about more of the same. So to go from that addictive or alcoholic state to one of creating more of what you say that you want is opening a space where you can hear and understand the character that is living in your head and doing all of the judging and the talking, and it actually wants suffering. It seems as if you were to take away its ability to be mad at situations, it is angry that it cannot be upset. And when you notice that, you realize how insane it is, because you are constantly saying you want peace and happiness, yet you are generating suffering about a situation that is neutral. In theory, it is neutral. This is what it is. This is what I'm doing or have to do today. That is that. I'm only going to open up a space within me because I am deciding I am going to take control of my consciousness. I'm going to take control of my energy state, and I can have a preference that I would prefer not to be doing this, but since this is what I'm doing, I'm going to be at peace in it, and I'm going to allow what is and open a space with full trust and surrender, knowing that higher aspects of your consciousness and ideas that will flow through will help reflect that state that you're harboring within you. So the ultimate goal of this, and I'm talking about getting out of a addictive and alcoholic state of mind, is that your state of being is more representative of the focal point of what's important than your circumstances. Your circumstances right now, however decrepit and negative they may seem, are in truth neutral experiences. They are just circumstances, they are content, and here you are at the center with the control as to what you want to harbor within you. And if one is in an addiction that requires physical detox and all that, you're going to want to go through the physical detox before you probably try any of this, because it's not, a lot of it won't help. There's not going to be you can obviously harbor more presence within you, even in a very, very lowered state, but you must physically clean the body out before you try and take on any type of intense shifting of your internal state, because your internal state's going to be very rapid fire. But your state of being is the most important thing in your life. Should be the focus point of your life. And this doesn't mean that you avoid everything in life that might be slightly negative or feel negative. It is all about the psychological resistance you bring to it. If there's something that you have to do and you are going to go do it, if you talk in your head about how much you shouldn't be doing it and how it would be better if you weren't doing it, either you go do it or you don't do it. It's just one of the two. Either do it and accept and surrender, or don't do it. But who knows, if you don't do it, you might not, accept and surrender to that, and you might talk about in your head how you should have done it. The point is taking control of your energy state, and your state of being, your state of consciousness is so much more important than your circumstances, because your circumstances will always in the end reflect your state of being. And you have to have some faith and some patience. And it doesn't mean hopefully waiting. Oh, I hope I get it. It means faith and patience as in you are harboring a state of presence within you, an openness that isn't demanding of anything. It's just allowing a presence to reside in you that doesn't need to think or need to judge. It just allows. And you can listen to the judging voice and say, okay, the voice is judging. It's a lot of judgment. It's negativity. Okay, there it is. And open that space and allow other aspects of yourself to come in, and they will come in. You just have to be the vessel that is, able to take them in. You have to detach from all of the clutter that has been creating your reality, and detach from the character that has been attracting all the clutter. And when you can detach, you open a space for a new aspect of your character and a new aspect of your identity to come through and help you to create what you truly do desire and figure out what it is you truly desire. Because when you're in that very low state, you're not going to know exactly what you truly desire. It's going to be very confusing. That's why you open space. The space allows, that's what meditation is for, is opening you up to that non-conceptual you, the soul you, and then inflows more aspects of yourself to create the life you choose. I love you all. Please subscribe to Nobody's Tribe on YouTube and like Nobody's Tribe on Facebook. As always, safe travels in the now.